All right, if you are thinking about moving to White Rock, BC, I'm about to save you so much time, energy, and stress by virtually walking you through the town on a Google Map tour. Now, on this tour, I'm going to highlight all of the pros and cons of living in various areas within the city of White Rock. And by the end of the video, I think you're going to be surprised because there's going to be some areas that you're going to absolutely love to potentially live in and other areas that you're potentially going to hate the idea of living in, all depending on what your personal preferences are. So if you're thinking about relocating to White Rock, BC, this video is for you. I'm going to take you through the virtual tour of all of White Rock. And during that tour, you're going to learn things like what style of homes are in different areas, the cost of those homes, proximity to the city, to the airport, and to the US, as well as we're going to talk about things like the nearby amenities, such as shopping, parks, schools, recreation, you name it, it's all here in this video. And stick around until the end because I have a feeling that there's going to be a couple of things that I'm going to share with you that are probably going to make you think, I don't know if this is the area that I want to live in. By the way, if you're new to this channel, my name is Glen Hopkins. I am a local realtor here in the South Surrey and White Rock area. And if you're thinking about making a move this way, feel free to reach out to me. Call me, text me, email me, whatever works best for you. I'm easy to get a hold of. And also, while you're here, do me a favor, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the like button. Doing so, it's going to motivate me to make more videos just like this to help you make that decision if this is the area for you. Okay, and so here we are on Google Maps and we're looking at the city of White Rock. And as you can see, it's a relatively small area. The boundaries of White Rock itself are 136th Street right here, all the way along North Bluff or 16th Avenue to 160th Street. So you can see it's a relatively small area. Now, I'm going to zoom out just to give you an idea, proximity-wise, as to just how small it is and where it is in relation to other areas. So here you can see we've got White Rock down here. It's very close to the US border. When you cross the border here into Blaine, that is Blaine, Washington. And by the way, you can get really cheap gas in Blaine, Washington, which is nice if you're in the area, living in this area. Okay, so White Rock is down here, very close to the border. Now, to get to Vancouver, you're going to travel 99 Highway up to Vancouver. Depending on the time of day that you're traveling, it's going to take you approximately 1 hour to get downtown Vancouver. And again, it depends on how far into the city you're going and what time of day that you're actually traveling. So what I suggest doing, if you're thinking of moving here and you're interested in knowing what the time travel is going to be to get to work, if say you're working in Vancouver or perhaps you're working here in Richmond, what you can do is use the Google Maps directions, plug in the time that you want to arrive at your location. It'll tell you what time to leave and give you an estimated time of travel. Now, if you're going to Richmond, right here, again, it's along 99, and Richmond's where you're going to find the Vancouver International Airport. That's going to be approximately 45 minutes away from White Rock, BC. All right, so let's go ahead, zoom in just a little bit, and you'll see White Rock is down here, and the border between White Rock and Surrey is 16th Avenue. Anything above or let's say north of 16th Avenue, also known as North Bluff Road, is considered South Surrey. So let's go ahead and zoom back into White Rock. You can see it's right on the water. It's such a beautiful location. There's the pier. The pier is the longest pier in all of Canada. It's a beautiful spot. Well, let's take a look at some of the photos actually. And there's our beautiful pier. Okay, I'm not sure if Google Maps will let me go down the pier or not. No, I don't think it will. But it'll take me into a parking lot and we can take a look at the pier. Look how beautiful it is. The tide's up very high in this particular photo. Oftentimes during the day, well, not oftentimes, a couple of times during the day, the tide goes out and we have tide pools, and the tide will go out past the breaker here. And it's just a great spot for walking and playing, and the kids will go down there. They'll go playing in the water pools and what have you, building sandcastles. People are often walking out in the sand, really far out, like I said. So that's a nice shot, though, of the beach. This is Marine Drive while we're down here, so I'll take you a quick tour of Marine Drive. All right, so here we go down Marine Drive. Now bear in mind that White Rock was originally a cottage town, and this here is the original train station of White Rock. And if you look at some old photos of historic photos of White Rock, it's pretty cool. This is actually now the Museum of White Rock, and you can see those photos in here. Of course, you can look them up online as well. But White Rock, historically, you can see these old photos of people getting out of the train, and none of these buildings were really here. Everyone was in horse and buggy once upon a time. But of course, since then, White Rock has developed quite quickly, and it's become a little town in and of itself. So I'm going to actually scroll down this way. We're going to head down Marine Drive. We're currently headed west, okay? And as you can see, as we go along, there's lots of restaurants along the waterfront, coffee shops, ice cream shops, all sorts of things like that. Beautiful spots. You can sit up on the rooftop and have a really nice dinner and look out at the water. In the summer months, the spring months, you're going to find a lot of people on these streets just walking up and down. It's a real beach vibe. People are going up and down, just driving up and down the street, looking at the beautiful water, people watching, playing their music and so on. A real typical beach vibe. So as we continue down, if we continue down here on Marine Drive, we're going to come to the corner here. And this corner right here is worth mentioning. This is Oxford Street, okay? And if you look up here, this is Oxford Street. It's an extremely steep street. It's hard to tell you. It doesn't really do it justice in this photo. But if you can imagine, in the winter months, when it snows, people actually come, because it doesn't snow a lot here in White Rock. It's very rare that it snows. But when it does, and if it sticks, all the kids and some of the adults alike come to Oxford Street and they toboggan down the hill. And some people will ski and snowboard down the hill, if you can believe it. And then, of course, when the weather is like that, and when we do get that kind of snow, the city will typically block off the street because it's too hazardous for cars to drive up and down. It really is steep. And like I said, this photo does not do it justice, okay? But let's go ahead back down here, down Marine Drive. I'll go over the lawn here. Oops. Okay. And as we move down Marine Drive this way, this is all considered West Beach, okay? And I won't go too far down right now, but I want you to see that along the water, there's actually a train track all along the water here, okay? And that train track heads all the way down the water and over to the US border. Now, if you look in the distance here, I'm not sure if you can see it over the edge, this landmass here, that's actually the United States. That's Washington State. So you can see just how close we are. If you live in this area, you're about a 5-minute drive to the Peace Arch border crossing, and it's a great place to cross the line and get really cheap gas, okay? Now, again, we are on what's considered the west side, or the west side of the hump. Halfway across the beach, there's an area called the Hump, and it sort of divides West Beach from East Beach. Again, this is the train station, and I'll just take you up here for a quick look at the pier again. You can see how beautiful that is. The tide's up quite high, like I said. And this is sort of where we're going up a hill, you'll notice. And this is what they refer to as the hump. That's what locals call this area. It's called the hump. And as we go over the hump, we're going to head into the area of East Beach. And you get a nice view of the water from there. Look at that, okay? Now in this shot, you can see the tide's out a little bit further here. It'll go out still further. All the tide pools are just wonderful to walk in. They're very picturesque. And if you do some searches on Google, you'll see those. I'll try and pop some in here into the video as well, okay? But here we go over the hump, and we're headed into East Beach. And actually, look at that. You can see the tide pools on the other side. See these tide pools? Those are really fun to play in. They get warm, so you can walk in them, and it's just a great spot. People are kite flying and having picnics, and there's a lot of fish and chip shops along the area here as we move into East Beach. All right, so I'm going to back out of here. This is East Beach. It's a little less busy than West Beach, but very, very cool vibe. Okay, so here we are back at the map view, and again, I'm just going to zoom in here to White Rock proper. And so you can see this is the border right here. This is 136th Street. This is North Bluff. And again, anything above North Bluff is considered South Surrey. And I'm going to talk about South Surrey in a different video because we've got enough to cover here in White Rock. But if we go all the way along here to 160th, that's going to be the border of White Rock right there. All right. So let's scroll back and zoom in and take a look at some of these areas. And as you can see, it's just going to be absolutely beautiful. There's Barge Park, which is a really nice spot. What I want to show you though is Marine Drive. All right. So Marine Drive, as we move along Marine Drive, there's some very high-end homes along this area. Absolutely stunning, beautiful homes, multi-million-dollar homes. So if you've got that kind of money, give me a call because I can show you some amazing places. These are oftentimes gated homes, and I'm talking homes, you know, and some of them are like $10-15 million homes. And if you go as far as Ocean Park and Indian Drive Road, you'll find homes there as much as $25 million. So some massive, massive homes. Unfortunately, we can't see in too much just because of the gates and what have you. But let me tell you, they're beautiful. So let's go back to the map. And again, so those homes we were looking at, we're sort of along this area up here, okay? So as we move along, you're going to see there's Johnson Park. Ruth Johnson Park is a really nice place, also a Centennial Park. You can enter into it off of North Bluff Road or 16th. And I'm just going to click on this to show you some images because this is a really nice park as well. This park is what's called the White Rock Generational Playground or Generations Playground. And if you take a look at it, it's just a great spot. It's relatively new. We're talking about a year or two new. So the kids absolutely love it. You get some adults playing in there as well, having some fun. This is a path coming down to the beach. So this path goes all the way down through the park, right down to the beachfront. And okay, just to give you some idea. And there's a few trails in there as well. Let's back out of there. Now along here in the park area, there's also the Centennial Arena, pardon me. There's the curling club, and they do all sorts of things in here. So we've got a couple of trails that you can walk down, and these two trails, they're beautiful trails. Oftentimes people take their dogs in there, and again, those trails will take you right down to the waterfront. So I'll show you a couple of areas here. If you click in here, this is Island Cafe, a really cool cafe actually. Yeah, so this is Five Corners. There's Live Studio. My friend owns that place. Here's this little restaurant here is quite cool. Five Corners Cafe. It's been around for a long time. Kind of got a neat vibe there. There's a coffee shop here on the corner. Let me zip around. Sorry, I'm going so fast, guys. Coffee shop right in there. Really nice coffee shop. A school over here, elementary school. If we go down the road here, a couple other neat points, places to mention. If you like pizza, this is the place to go. Amazing pizza here in White Rock. And just down the road is Laura's Coffee Corner. And it's always busy at Laura's Coffee Corner. This is a great spot to sit down, have a coffee with friends, meet new people, and just enjoy life. Really quick, if you head down here a little bit further, you're going to find the White Rock Fire Department. And here's an aerial view of Ruth Johnson Park, Centennial Park. You can see the nice forested area there. And those are the paths that I was showing you in the other map view. It's a beautiful spot. Over here is Oxford Street, the steepest street. Now, one of the things you're going to want to notice is if you're living in this area, there is a con. And that con is the train does travel through here regularly. And every time it goes through town, it blows its horn. And it's very loud. So I have to say that a lot of residents will say that they've become accustomed to it. They're used to it and they don't hear it anymore. I don't know if that would be the case for me or not. And that, I guess, depends on how light of a sleeper you are. If or not, that might bother you. But if it does, you might want to be positioned somewhere or located somewhere a little bit further away from Marine Drive. Again, that's where the train just travels along. Okay, so let's just move north here up to North Bluff Road. Again, that is the border line there. Just on the other side of North Bluff Road is Semiahmoo Shopping Center. This is actually technically considered Surrey, But like I said, Surrey and White Rock are often considered one for many people. And you're going to find a lot of seniors living in and around this area because the walkability score is very high. When you get up here to around this level of North Bluff, it's relatively flat. So you're going to find a lot of condos and what have you here that oftentimes seniors are living in because they can easily walk to the Semiahmoo shopping center. There's a grocery store here. There's the White Spot, as you just saw. There's Brown's Social House, all sorts of restaurants. There's a liquor store. It's all sort of up here in this area. But again, just north into White Rock, if you come down here, the Wooden Spoon, that's a really nice restaurant. Highly recommend going there. Fabulous burgers, really good spot. There's a couple of brewing companies along here, and just a really nice area. So I'm going to actually click on there. This is the street view. Okay, so again, this is Brown's Social House. This is 16th Avenue right here. And if we'll just go down 16th Avenue for a second so you can see this area here. This is all the shopping mall. There's a Save On Food back there. And again, that side of the road of 16th is considered Surrey. This side of the road, again, is considered White Rock. And you can see there's some nice condos here. And as you travel down the streets, you're going to see a lot of condos. There's a few high-rise buildings going up now. But there's also a lot of older condominium buildings in the White Rock area. So some of these are obviously, you know, they're as old as 45, 50 years old. So they're nice. Some of them are nice. Some of them are a little bit worn down. It depends on what you're looking for. As far as the White Rock area goes, you're either going to find mostly condos or detached homes. There's very few townhouses. There's 2 or 3 townhouse complexes. They're relatively small, not much more than 10 units in those complexes. They're beautiful, but there's not many townhouse complexes. Also along North Bluff Road, or 16th, is you're going to find the Peace Arch Hospital. So White Rock has its very own hospital. Here's a shot of the hospital, okay, right there on 16th Avenue. So very close. Again, we're literally just down the road from where I just showed you the shopping mall was. Okay, so let me show you some of the nice houses that are to be found here in the White Rock area. So this area here, this is Bonavista Street or Avenue. Lots of homes here have a view because this is what's called the bluffs. So this is a relatively steep incline along here. So all these homes are going up on an incline and they almost all have a view. Once you get past sort of Bonavista and upwards of this area towards Thrift, it all gets pretty flat, okay? But let's take a look at just some of these homes along here, just to give you an idea. So you're going to see a lot of newer build homes. They often have multiple level balconies, and these of course all are designed to have a view of the water. And if you turn that camera around, there's the water, and it's a beautiful view. So let's take a look at another street here, just to give you an idea. A lot of the streets in White Rock are very steep, so walkability is not your friend. Although these guys are walking up the street, you can see it's quite steep. You're going to get your exercise for sure. So if you don't like walking up hills or you have some mobility issues, living on the bluff is probably not the best location. A lot of these houses actually have elevators in them to get from the ground floor to the upper floors. And again, you can see most of the new builds are built upwards with lots of multiple balconies with a view. And you're going to see an interesting thing here in White Rock is you're going to see smaller cottage homes mixed in between the newer homes. And that's because, if you recall, White Rock was originally a cottage town. And so White Rock sort of has a vibe of new and old mixed together. A lot of newer homes, multi-million-dollar homes, again, designed to overlook the water. So let's go ahead and take a peek down by the water again near East Beach. I'm going to click on there, and we're back on Marine Drive. And if you recall, East Beach is on the other side of the hump. So if we go down Marine Drive here, we get into an area that's relatively flat actually, which is kind of nice. So if walkability is an issue for you, or the ability to walk hills, I should say, is an issue for you, you might want to consider this area of White Rock over on East Beach. In this area, you're going to find it's a little flatter. Again, there's some condos down along the water here, But when you go looking up these streets here, you'll see they're not as steep as other places in White Rock. They're quite walkable. Oops. And this area here, we're heading up to the 𝗏𝗏𝗡𝗏. This is a neat area here. This restaurant's a great restaurant. It's called the 𝗏𝗏𝗏. There's actually a weed store back here now as well. So if you're into that kind of thing, it's legal here. And that's where you can get it. There's parking back here. A lot of people will take their dogs to the beach over here. It's considered off leash. So you can take your dogs there and have them run around and have a lot of fun. So we'll just head a little bit further down Marine Drive, and you'll see again, some of these areas are a little more flat, and there's homes in there, a lot of condos. Again, you're not going to find any townhouses. So when it comes to schools, there is a lot of information to go over, and every school belongs to a different catchment. So be sure to reach out to me, talk to me, let me know where you're thinking about moving, and I can help you pick the right school. Now, to help you with that, there's a lot of information that goes along with the school. So I'm going to share with you my blog and a blog post that's going to teach you all about the local schools. So if you head over to my website, glenhopkins.com, you're going to come to this website, and if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll find a link to local schools. It's also worth looking at the link to local neighborhoods. So we'll go ahead and click on both of those. Here's the local school list that you're going to want to go through. These are all of the top rated schools in South Surrey and White Rock, BC. And I go through in detail all of the different schools, all of the pros and cons of each of those schools. So it's very much worth your while visiting this page on my website. Now, there's also a link to all of the areas of South Surrey and White Rock. If you want to know more information about the best neighborhood to live, you're going to find links to different blog posts with videos, everything you can possibly imagine to do with every neighborhood in South Surrey and White Rock, BC. Okay, so we have covered a lot of information in this video, and there's so much more information to share about White Rock, BC. So much so that I can't possibly put it all in one video. And I'm sure you have many more questions to ask. So please, if you do, feel free to reach out, connect with me. Again, all of my contact information is below. I'm more than happy to help you if you're considering relocating to White Rock, BC.